Alva games just tend to be longer due to the nature of how he works, connecting ciphers and whatnot. And he's also unique in the fact that he shares damage between all survivors. Now, how does that work exactly? Because I always see a lot of people struggle with how to do the math for Alva. But you can think of it as him dealing 1.2 damage, when survivors typically need 2 damage in order to go down. So what does that mean? That means when a hunter hits you with a normal hit, that's considered 1 damage. And you need 2 hits, aka 2 damage, in order to go down. For the record, Alva does 1.2 damage. 1.2 is equally divisible by 2, 3, and 4. And that sounds like a lot, but it's not as much when you really think about it. You each take 0.6 damage. When it's split between 3 people, it's 0.4 damage. And when it's split between everyone, it's 0.3 damage. And anything that goes over 2 is an instant down. So I'm just gonna be showing people's damages throughout the whole game. I hope this will be insightful when doing the map for Alva, because I know a lot of people do struggle with that, at least the people that I talk to. Yeah, I got a pretty, I wouldn't say fast down, but typical down for Alva. He does require insolence because he doesn't have a very good first presence. Damaging people on Alva, even if you are not chasing them, is super valuable because he likes to just down people indiscriminately, even if they're not near him. And I take that free full hit on Gardener. And that's why healing its Alva is so good, because he really relies on downing people from across the map that he doesn't even see. You see everyone is super injured, and Novelist is about to go down, so they start healing. Because if they don't, then everyone's just going to go down, no one can save, and it's going to be awful. That Terror Shock was terrible for them, by the way. That really set them back, because now they also got injured too, and it's going to reset the heal. I didn't even realize Gardener broke that. I see Gardener going for the save. Now here I'm going to stun that area, so if Gardener wants to go through there, she has to take a blue charge. But she doesn't want to take a blue charge, so she ends up going around. Which is also okay. Now the thing with Alva, it's really hard to body block against Alva, because if they're right next to each other, which if they're trying to body block they will be, you can just hit both of them with the same color stun, and now body blocking doesn't do anything anymore, right? On the contrary though, they don't go down, so I don't know, it's a give and take. I think it's always worth it, typically, to just do that. Well, almost always. So right now they're probably healing. I mean, obviously you can see they're healing, but I just assumed they're healing because Composer and Embalmer are not decoding. And you can tell they're not decoding because they don't have a charge on them. So I'm just looking to see ciphers, see which one had the most progress. And now I see people. I see everyone, actually. Everyone's here. And again, good thing about Alva, you can't really body block, because look, you saw the Composer wanted to body block, but it didn't matter. Right now, Bomber's the only one that has a charge, so I get a free hit on him. Bomber kind of threw this match, not gonna lie. He was not the best. Speaking of, I'm about to throw several times in a row right now. That was bad, right? What was that? That stun did nothing because I ended up breaking the pallet anyway. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Free hit though. Embalmer's still down. Gardener's decoding. That was a really close stun that almost got him. Embalmer's up, but he's not decoding. And I actually see him running in the background right over there. So now I know where Gardner is, and he's running to her. So he coffined the Gardner. I see scratch marks so I can chase her. So here they both kind of threw. For some reason Gardner went instead of Embalmer. What they should have done is Embalmer goes and shares a charge with the Gardner. When the Embalmer gets hit, Gardner goes down, and then he coffins her, and then he can keep going for the save. It still probably wouldn't have worked out, but it would have been a lot better. Now, the coffin is over there, and so is he. It's just pretty rough. Now it's pretty guaranteed that the composer's just gonna die. Yeah, see, she's even emoting. Me too, bro. He also kind of threw again. They probably should have forced the Cypher. There's kind of nothing else they can do but force the Cypher. But yeah, good game. This game, Meteor, had a very interesting roller coaster of emotions. The epic highs and lows of high school football. That comes in later though. Right now I'm just starting with chasing the mechanic. Can't see it, but she actually put down her bot already, which will be annoying later for me to find out. Speed boost because I think I can catch her with a wind. And I do. And here I'm going to vault without using a wind token. I don't feel like that's a high impact vault. I don't feel like I could get enough from that. Here I see her going in an area where I do feel like I can catch up to her, so this is a high impact vault. And you can see I waited. First you can see that the bot is over there, right? And I'm just fucking blind, I didn't see it. I have tinnitus, and I'm looking for it, I just don't see it. But, yeah, no, so I was waiting for her to place down her bot, or flywheel or something, that's why it took me so long to hit her. But she just didn't end up doing any of that. Oh, okay, there it is. And I know it seems weird warping on a bot, but I feel like that's still such a very valid play, because it slows progress so much. Then you see you're all just going for the save, and I'm dashing to stop her. She's just being a silly goober getting hit by Tram. We've all been there. So I just chase her for a little bit. Try and get the extra down while Mech is still in chair. But then I go back because I'm scared that someone's gonna save. And I have tinnitus right now, so I think someone was going for the save. I just don't know who. But they end up not saving, and I still have tinnitus, so I'm still looking around, trying to see who's near me. Until Meteorologist is so kind and tells me where she is. What a generous soul. And now I'm just chasing her. She's half. I thought about vaulting the window there to catch her off guard, but it looks like she didn't go through the hallway that would take me to her. Dodge the wind. I'm gonna get that down right there. I probably didn't need a speed boost, but I thought I did because if she vaulted the window, she would have made it if I didn't speed boost. I see the little girl decoding, so I go to try and down her before she saves. But it doesn't look like she's gonna save. So I go back to the chair. And there's Seer. I just suck him away, get a hit. Now I want to down Seer here before I go back for the Meteorologist, just so it slows down decoding. I think about warping here, but I don't know how far I should make it because I can't see her. Ah, there she is. Now I can warp, and see, I'm caught off guard a little bit, and I just go sadly pick up the Seer as a consolation prize. Man, that was the sickest win that's ever happened to me. That was actually crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't even mad. I thought that was crazy. That was so good. You know exactly where the little girl has to come from because all the ciphers are over there. So just dash to her. Give her a suck. No flywheel. I was kind of anticipating a flywheel, but I didn't mind just smacking her for it. In case she did, because she's really far, there's no way she'd get there. Meteorologist still decoding, so I know exactly where she is. Pops, and again, you can't see it on the recording, but I can see her because I have announcement, so I know exactly where she's going. Pre-drops, and it's, yeah, I mean, she's just dead here. She does get a very good flywheel, but that's short-lived. Yeah, good game. Shocking on chair is really hard, but I just use one simple trick that all survivors hate. Now seriously, it's really not as hard, especially when you do the thing that I do, because I'm not typically good at terror shocking, but this helps a lot. You saw me went in a weird way, but that's because survivors like to look at where you're going so they can go in the opposite direction. And there, I pretended to swing at him, and then I instantly turned around, which baited out his ability. You can see I'm mind gaming him, so he's forced to go here, and I get a really, really fast down. See, that Merc hasn't even started his cipher yet. Well, I mean, that's probably because he was at a blocked cipher, but still didn't start his cipher yet. And you can see Merc trying to go for the save. When I'm looking to terror shock someone, I'm not actually looking at them. I'm only looking at the chair timer, because that's what they're looking at. So, they obviously want to save before half. So you want to time your attack so that they can't do that. That makes sense. Just got a hit for presence. You can see Norton messed up his magnet right there. So Lucino doesn't want to go down that way because Norton fucked up a magnet. I bait the pallet throw. That was unintentional, but still welcome. The reset hit recovery. That was really good. That was a really long stun. See, I'm warping here. I'm threatening warp. I'm not even taking it, right? I just knocked Norton down. And here, I should have used the other type of wind, because that happened, right? Use the other type of wind, he probably wouldn't have made that as easy. And here he's forced to pick up Magnet. Gets a free vault because of his scales. And here, I get a down, not even close, easiest down of my life. Clearly that hit, and there's no discrepancy about it. I know they're trying to heal somewhere, and I downed the Norton over here, so I'm just trying to look over here. I hear some healing. There's the Merc. And I could go for the Merc, but I get a free hit on Luca, and I'd rather go for a Luca than a Merc, you know what I mean? And they're both half, so I might as well just commit to this. Norton does end up getting the heal off. I see that they're decoding right over there, so I know where they're going to come from when they save. Well, roughly. There's still like 3-4 paths that he could take. I'm just trying to check every path now, make sure I can cut him off. Or at least cut him off as much as I can. I'm going to do a double take because I'm like, huh. No, oh, what? No, there he is. So this time I know Merc is going to be paranoid about getting terror shocked again. So I know he's going to probably save a little bit earlier than last time. So again, I'm still not looking at Merc. I'm looking at the timer. I'm looking at both, but mainly the timer. I'm trying to think, what would he be thinking? IDD is like 70% mind games, I'm telling you. Now Norton has to come save. I'm not gonna lie, Norton had some really good magnets this game. This one, I tried to go somewhere else to get a shorter stun, But no, he got that Magna off. He almost got another one too. Not quite that one. Got a good flywheel. I don't know, if I chased this Norton first, it might have been a different game. Yeah, good game. Hi, I just wanted to make a tier list because I think tier lists are fun, and I've always wanted to do one. I'm only going to do decoders this time, because there are a lot of survivors, so I thought I'd just break it up into the 4 factions, and start with decoders. Yeah, if you guys like this video, I'll do the other 3 as well. Just to get started, Mech, easy S tier. Definitely, by far, the best decoder in the game. I don't even think it's close, because she has her bot to body block for her, or she also has the option to put the bot out before kite, hide it, and decode while she's on chair. It just turns the game into a 4 cipher game, and there's not much you can really do about that unless you chase her first. But again, her chase is really good. Next would be Lawyer. I think he's B tier. Now, I low-key think he's probably one of the best kiters amongst the decoders. He can always see the hunter at all times, basically. He has a vaulting buff and a speed buff, and that just makes him a really slippery kiter that you can lose a lot, especially in the beginning of the game before you even see him. The only reason he's B tier is because I just think his decoding is pretty mid. It's only up to 15%, and he has to work for it, right? He starts off at only 100. But his kiting's so good that I think he's B tier. Next, this might surprise people. Even though she got a buff, I still don't think she's that good. I think her ability kind of sucks for kiting, and it gives away her position, so she can always just be found, and it's just kind of very worth it to always go for her. She becomes a lot better if you can hide with her and not get found, but you could say the same thing for any decoder, so for that reason I just think she's D tier. Composer, C tier. I think his decoding is aight, and his kiting is aight. He's a very alright survivor. He's super fun to play. Rhythm games are really fun, but I just don't think he compares to anyone above him. His speed boost is like once a minute or like 40 seconds or something like that. It doesn't last super long. I just don't think he's the best. E tier for Explorer. This one might surprise people, honestly. I just think he isn't that good. I just think you would rather be decoding than finding a page. I think it's just faster. Now, the caveat being, if it ever becomes a small map, then he becomes C tier, because it's a lot easier to get the pages. You don't have to run as far, and get the ciphers more easily. That's still low C tier. But if it's a big map, I just don't think he's that good. He can definitely have his moments, though. He can. Next, Pharaoh Lady. C tier. I think he's better than Frederick, though. I just think that her decoding is only alright, and it's at the detriment of another cipher. So that kind of makes it worse. And her kiting can be really good, don't get me wrong, but it can also be really bad. It's super unreliable. And because it's unreliable, I don't feel comfortable giving her B tier. Lastly, Luca, A tier. Better than Lawyer, worse than Mech. His shock can be a lot more useful than it would seem at first glance, because it's a very short stun, but you're also forgetting that it can interrupt abilities, right? Like a Mary Mirror, if you're close, or a Night Watch Wind can stop him from getting wind tokens. It's very versatile, and his decoding is really, really good. It lets people go harass or save earlier than they normally would be able to. It lets him decode from across the map, which I feel like a lot of people, when they talk about decoding, don't take into account the time it takes to run over to a cipher, and he completely just gets rid of that. And yeah, he loses a little bit of decoding, but I think it definitely outweighs the negatives. Still not as good as just making it a 4 cipher game. So yeah, that's my decoder tier list. I feel very comfortable with this list. I think it's pretty good. Only thing I might change is like Pharaoh going up to a B if they're really good. But again, her consistency is very lacking, which is why I think she's a C. But yeah, thanks for watching. So I would normally go for the Novelist here, because he spawned in Shack, but I absolutely abhor going for Novelist. So I decided to try and chase the Knight instead. See some scratch marks, so I go over there, and I'm playing this shit. I should have seen that sparkling fucking man, but I didn't. He got a Palestine. That's okay. So here, it's obviously a hit predict, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was gonna be a spell predict. Turned out it was just a nothing predict, so. Okay, so here, my very first thought was, oh, I should slow him down. So I should use my wind, but then I thought, that's what he's gonna think. So I'm just gonna hit him. Am I gonna be close enough to hit him? And I was, so I just, balls to the wall, I got him down. Notice I'm not trying to cut him off because it's Novelist. Cutting him off doesn't really do anything. I kind of want to get behind him and suck him. Here, I was a little extravagant with my predictions, but I got it. I fucked up his hit predict. All it cost was my warp. Hey, but I got him down. But yeah. The rest of the game is not too interesting, so I want to try a shorter video just to see if you guys would like that more. If not, just let me know, and I'll keep making longer ones. But yeah, thanks for watching. This game, I had a very interesting experience where most of the enemy team couldn't kite me for more than 20 seconds. Yeah, that one, I'm just, honestly, this one I gave her the benefit of the doubt, and I just said maybe she's lagging. I cut it a little bit where I went to go harass the archer, but eventually the coordinator just died, and I saw a Pharaoh lady running in the distance, so I went to go find her. I'm not gonna lie, not one of my best moments. I was searching for her for at least a minute, and the only reason I found her is because she got crows. But once I did find her, man, less than 20 seconds, let me tell you. Don't worry, Priestess comes to save, and surely she'll have better luck, right? Oh, okay. I was waiting for Flywheel, but never came up. I got an early, but that's okay, she still makes it. Oh, she didn't make it. Oh my, okay. By the way, if you guys noticed on the left in the cipher progress, one cipher took a lot longer to start than the other two. And I was wondering about that myself, so I just kind of wanted to see what was happening. So let me just show you what the Priestess was doing for the first minute and 30 seconds of the match. It was pretty silly stuff. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. Yeah, so here I see the archer. I kind of just chase towards her. She does a lot better than the rest of her team did. She has a pretty okay kite. Pretty good kite, actually. She's gonna try and make it over to the Priestess to save. I'm not gonna let her. And she's not gonna lie, she gets a bomb-ass snipe. That was really good. Unfortunately, my warp was still up, so didn't really end up helping her too much. I give her that old smackaroo, and that's that. Yeah, good game. I don't play Lucino very often. When I do, it's usually because they have someone that can fly or hop over things, or if it's Moonlit, because I just really like playing him on Moonlit. It's a really good map for him, and it's a really bad map for Nightwatch. So since they have both a flyer and it's Moonlit, I decided to. You see me try and get that jump hit really quickly, but she already had her cloud prepped, so that didn't end up working out for me. That's okay, because now she's kind of forced to leave the area. and I get the hit before she wins me, and she actually ends up canceling hit recovery, which is massive. So here we're going to have to try and mind game some things, because you can actually really easily loop hunters in this area. I think she's going to vault that window, so I end up jumping over it, and she uses her last wind for a cloud, but doesn't quite break the pallet, even with flying. Typically, meteorologists only get 3 wins. You can have 4, but it's generally safe to say that they always really only have 3. Yeah, and then here I'm just trying to find the Merc. Honestly, I'm psyching myself out more than anything else, thinking, oh, he's going around or something, but he's just hiding in this one area without even moving. The save was pretty good, but no body block. So now, you're gonna see the Kishi try and balloon save in just a second. And the key with that is you just want to make sure that you're not in range to get hit, but if you are, that's okay. Just make sure you won't be hit into anything. Like right there, I baited some hits, I walked away from her, and then I just smacked her whenever I had the chance. Now here you're gonna see Merc try and go for the save, and he's full, so that should be good for him. And then he's gonna use an elbow pad. And I feel like a lot of people feel like Merc is invulnerable or unhittable whenever he uses an elbow pad. That's not necessarily the case. You just have to be able to time it right, and you can hit him while he elbow pads. And most Mercs won't be expecting it. Here I'm missing a lot of my jumps and attacks. That's okay. Lucino is honestly mostly mind games, so it makes sense that I miss 1 or 2, as long as I hit most of them. Here again, you're going to see the Kishi trying to save, and we're just going to do the same thing, right? We're going to stay out of her range, and if we are in range, we're going to try and not get pushed into anything. We baited all the hits, so now we can just successfully chair without any worries. Here we lose a mind game, but again, that's okay. And now I'm debating if I even want to keep going for the Kishi or not, because it is less safer, and I decide upon not doing that. So now I'm just chasing the Merc. I made sure no one else was decoding that cipher before I felt comfortable chasing him. And I get a jump hit that, honestly, I don't think I should have gotten. Looking back at this recording, I don't think I should have. But we take it, right? I'm not gonna say no. So they start decoding a new cipher, and now I'm looking for the lucky guy that's gonna be saving, but I am blind. I don't see him until he's right there. Then I get a decent jump hit. I don't feel the need to knock the Merc down, because there's no reason to. I'm forced to break that pallet. Now there, I'm walking in a bit weird direction because I don't know if Lucky Guy has a gun or not. And then I get a good slam down. Here you see me actually going for the Lucky Guy instead of the Merc. That's only because it was much easier to go for the Lucky Guy, right? Merc still has 2 elbow pads, so going for him would be a lot harder than going for the Lucky Guy, who probably doesn't have much. That was just interesting. I don't know what to say about that. He's being a silly goose, that's what he's doing. I have tinnitus, so I'm checking the chair just to make sure that Antiquarian's not going for the Lucky Guy. I confirmed she's not there, so now I know she's probably at gate, and so I go over to go chase her. And here you're going to see me not turning my camera. That's because I'm hovering the switch trait. And I kind of felt bad at the end of this game. It was such a rough game for Antiquarian. But yeah, good game. Hey guys, so I'm doing another tier list video, and this time I'm going to be doing Rescuers. And I'm only going to be ranking them based off their ability to rescue. And that's mostly because they also all have a second faction that they belong to. So I'm probably going to rank them again in a separate video. And what that means is I'm really only going to be judging their ability to do rescues without dying, and their ability to assist after they complete the rescue. So first up is going to be Forward, B tier. He's okay at getting the chair without getting downed, but Where he really shines is the assist after. His assist is really, really good, and he can help with Survivor's rebound a lot by just stunning. Next is Efron, which might surprise people, but I only think he's C tier. I just think that the things he can do aren't very impactful, right? Like, he can move a chair, that's nice. It's honestly probably the best thing about him is that he can move the chair. But his extra hit doesn't, I don't know, I often don't see his extra hit doing a lot. It can like save you from getting terror shocked, and his smoke is just very underwhelming when it comes to assisting. Next would be Richard. I think he's a low A to a high B, but I'm just going to put him in A for now. The way he rescues is very unique in the fact that he basically gives a free 8-second tide, and I don't think he's like a high A tier because his ability is kind of unreliable, right? Like, you could just fuck up all your abilities and you basically just did the equivalent of nothing. But it also could be extremely good, right? Like, if it's a Jack, I mean, Jack's just fucked, right? It's not as consistent as you would like it to be, which is why I think it's a low A to high B. This Aeroplanist, D tier. I just don't think he's that good. I didn't even know he was a rescue until I looked up who the rescuers were. Like, on paper, he can get to the chair without taking a hit, but in practice, I feel like that just doesn't happen. And afterwards, his only assist is like a singular body block, and then he goes down after that. I just don't think it's good. And that's if he gets the body block right. A lot of the time, that just doesn't happen at all. Next is Journalist, S tier. She gets a guaranteed save, right? Like, it's a guaranteed save, even if she gets cut off, because she still has her Orphe. And then if she doesn't get cut off and get down before the save, then she has really good assist as well. Those pallet Orphes are insanely good in the right hands. Next up is Weepy. I think he's B tier. I think he can get to the chair without getting damaged pretty consistently. And even if he does, it's okay. He can always just stun the hunter. And it's even better if he gets to the chair without taking a hit, because then he can stun the hunter and get a free save, and his harass is pretty decent, and he can help the survivor transition into the next area. Next is Puppeteer. Also, B tier. By the way, these are in no particular order. They're all B tier. So he can get to the chair very safely. He can take 4 hits. I can't imagine he's gonna get downed before he gets to the chair, barring special circumstances. And once he rescues, he can body block like 2 to 3 times, or at least just delay the survivor getting hit. Now obviously it's not perfect, right? It's just body blocking. You can always bypass body blocking by just outskilling them or certain skills. So for that reason, I don't think he's gonna go any higher than B tier. Next is Patient, D tier. Kind of just for the same reason as Aeroplanist, right? On paper, you would think he could get to the chair without taking a hit. In practice, he gets hit a lot. And then he gets to the chair, and the only assist he has after that is just taking a hit and getting downed, which just kinda sucks. Next up is Batter, B tier. For the same reason as Forward, honestly. Once he gets the save off, his harass is really good. Not as good as Forward, but it's still really good, and he can help rebound a lot. Next up is Gravekeeper. I'm gonna go high B to low A. I'm just gonna put an A for now. I feel like he's A because he gets pretty much a guaranteed save, but his assist after that is pretty mediocre. It's just a body block if you have a shovel left, right? And then to get the save off, you have to take a hit. So he can't really save again after that unless it's primed. I don't think he's S tier. I think he's very good. I just don't think it's S. Next up is First Officer. He's B tier. I hesitate in B tier because he is really good. I almost want to put him in A tier. I think he might be a high A, low B. But I'm going to keep him at B. That's just because he can get to the chair very well. He might take a hit. He probably will, honestly. But the biggest thing about him is he can save when he's at half, and that is huge. Being able to save at half is only like really good for Puppeteer, First Officer, and Merc. So just the fact that he can do that is really, really massive. And then again, he's only B tier because his only assist afterwards is just taking a hit, which a singular hit is not the best. Next, Wildling. This might be controversial, C tier. I think very often he's gonna have to use his boar to get to the chair. And if he does that, he can't harass afterwards. And it just ends up not being super good. And if he doesn't use it, then he probably just gets hit a second time and he's downed. I know theoretically that shouldn't happen, but I feel like a lot of the time that just is what ends up happening. So yeah, don't get me wrong, he is an amazing harasser, probably one of the best harassers in the game. I just think as a rescue it's C tier. Speaking of, she's also C tier. She's not that good. I feel like it has the same problem as Wildling, kinda. Wildling is a little bit better though. I feel like sometimes she has to use her gun to get to the chair, which is really bad. But most of the time that won't happen, and she'll just rescue at half and then shoot you right afterwards, which it's good, it's just not great, right? Like, it's okay. And you can only do it once, which is why I think that's really bad. Lastly, Merc. Put in the work. I feel like this should not be a surprise. He's S tier. He's just really good. He's also pretty much, he is a guaranteed save. And he can save at half, right? He can save at half and then take another body block, which is phenomenal. And then he can also detention save. He's just all around really, really good. That delayed hit is killer. Even if he gets Terror Shocked on chair, it won't do anything. He has a surprisingly simple kit, but it works very, very well. Yeah, I feel happy with this list. The only thing that I might want to change is like Jose going to A, Knight coming down, maybe even Wildling going up one. But in general, I think this is not bad. Yeah, thanks for watching. I feel like this game I handled my kite against Norton pretty well. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about what I was thinking when I was doing things. And I went over to the left instead of the right because I just wanted to be able to cut him off in case he tried to transition into middle or two-story. But that wasn't the case, and I saw scratch marks, and I'm a little stupid there. I saw the scratch marks disappear, so I should have known which way he went. I try and get a pallet bait. I missed that a couple times, but hey, third time is the charm. So here I'm actually going to not follow him, and I'm going to go around because I know this is a very popular area to loop. So I figured he'd probably go that way, and I wanted to cut him off. And you're going to see here that I'm actually going to take the long way around the table instead of going closer to the door. And that's so the stun would be shorter. And here you're going to see me do the same thing. I'm going to be hugging the walls to make sure he never has a good opportunity to get a stun off on me. I backed away for a little second there because I thought he was going to run at me and repel me and get some distance, but he ended up not doing that. And since he couldn't get a good stun on me, I got a very decent down on him. So here I'm looking for the Andrew because I know he's probably somewhere over here looking to save. And I hear him, knock him out of the shovel, give him a little sucky suck, and I was really close to cutting him off, but not quite. I do get that pallet hit though, which is super nice. And here you're going to see some interesting pings from the survivors. Gravekeeper tells his psych that he needs a heal, which is really good on him. Here, I'm just gonna get an extra hit on the psych because it's always good to get a free hit if you can. Surely that'll help later. Now the Gravekeeper's full health again and you can go for the save. That hit. And then here I'm trying to suck him so I don't get magneted. I get a really good body block there. Don't know if it's gonna be good enough though. That stun was a bit subpar, and I get just a very quick down. And notice, even though Norton didn't have the best kite, Ciphers are still really crazy. That's just because of mech. And I'm actually going to leave that Gravekeeper down, because I want to pressure this last Cypher instead. And I notice he uses his self-heal. I'm actually going to be chasing the mech instead of the Psychologist, because I want to chase the person that's full health, so no one can get a good, clean save off. That said, this mech actually does have a pretty decent kite. That was a good flywheel. And I messed that up. Don't talk about that, I don't know what happened there. I make it up though, I get that hit. And I get that long hit on her, see their silver coating, and I get it off ever so slightly. Now here, I'm going to look to my left, I'm going to see Gravekeeper. I see him the shovel, so I'm going to pretend like I'm going for Psych, go back for the Gravekeeper, and then get him down. And now they have to save after, and it was a terrible rescue. But I set it up like that. Now I can just leave Gravekeeper on the ground, because he doesn't have a self-heal, and just chase the mech again. So you can see the Psych was actually opening the door. I was expecting her to be healing the Gravekeeper, to be honest. But because she's not, I can just stay here, right? I don't really get punished for this, because he can't self-heal, and mech is on chair, and we're in the same place. I get the down on the Psych. Mech goes for the heal. And now it's just pretty much game. There's nothing they can really do. Gravekeeper has to last the whole self-heal, which clearly didn't happen. Yeah, good game. Hey everyone. So here we got a basement party video. Basement is generally insanely powerful. If you ever get it, it turned the tide of the game, like almost instantly. Unless they have tide. Pun slightly intended. So here I just want to show you what I did and what I was thinking about when I was doing it. Yeah, just to start off, I start chasing the Meteorologist, and man, I am realizing those nerves hit her hard. I know this was a while ago, but man, she only gets like 2 bottles at this point. Like sometimes 3, but she used to be able to get 4 if she was conservative about it. She already used 1, and here I'm trying to avoid a wind from her, but she actually got a cloud. Notice, after 2 clouds her bottle's already gone. It's kind of crazy. So here I'm kind of baiting her a little bit, so I can go break the pallet and force her into a different spot. They get the bird, which was expected, so I just kind of waited out and vault over. And here I'm going to be waiting out the flywheel, and just get that down real quick. And here I could chair in the one right in front of me, but I noticed that basement is right next to me. I feel like you always have a lot more time to chair than you typically think you do. At least for me. I don't know about you guys. Here I'm just looking for the barmaid, and I hear some steps right next to me, so I go and check it out. Yeah, surely enough, she was right there. And I get that suck. I pre-sucked, so the second I turned the corner, it popped. I try and get the down before a little girl appears, but that doesn't end up happening, but that's okay. I get the hit. And notice instead of going down to chase her, I know she's going to get that save, so I pick up the barmaid so I can get a free hit without a recovery. And I down the child. And it's pretty much game. A lot of upset pings, understandably. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I don't even see the seer for the rest of the game. They just kind of all die on chair, and I surrender because I don't feel like chasing the seer. Yeah, good game. Everyone, got another endgame video here. This one was pretty silly. It started out rough because I'm chasing Lawyer in the main building. Which, if you have never chased Lawyer in a main building, you don't understand how much of a hell that is. Because he knows exactly where you are at all times, and you have literally no clue where he could possibly be. He is such a slippery fucker. As it turns out, he's over on the left right there. I didn't know that yet. I see that scratch mark right there, so I know he's outside, and I can hear him walking. What I'm about to do here might be a little controversial, but I would just warp on him. Because I know if I try and walk around, there's no way I'm actually going to catch him. And it's kind of too late to transition to onto anyone else. And there's a very good chance I just get a hit on him anyway. So I figured that's not really a bad deal. He ran really fast right there, so right now I'm pretty confident he's running a Sui build. Not that it matters for this game. He dies before the last Cypher gets popped. Spoilers. But yeah, if it ever does get to endgame, I would have kept that in mind. There's a Priestess portal there, so I'm a little wary of that. I don't want him running to the other side of the map for free. I see Seer, and that's okay. I still go to brick the portal, but notice I saw Seer, so I'm not going to be using any of my resources yet. I'm going to wait until I break the portal, and now I'm going to start using resources again, when he's right next to me. Seer got a decent body block. A Lawyer ran in a very interesting direction though. I don't know what he was going to do with that. I mean, he got the stop off, but he still has to make it to coaster, so... I thought about harassing Priestess and getting a hit where I put the Lawyer on chair. I decided against it because she can get to Lawyer pretty easily, and there's also the chance that Seer would just backdoor anyway. I just hit the Priestess right away, because if I just wait and they can get to a better area, Priestess will help support and it'll be really, really, really bad. But right now, I chaired, in that chair specifically, because it's a really open area that's hard to support in. She used her self-heal, so that's important to keep note for later. Right there, I broke her portal, which might seem weird, but that's because I'm not actually going to chase her. I'm going to warp on to the last Cypher. That might have been the wrong play to do, but it's what I did. There I was getting very aggressive with my swings. I think I was panicking a little bit. I know I seem very calm in my videos. It's because I'm talking about it as I'm watching the replay. But I'm human too. Sometimes I panic or get nervous or something. But it's just important to catch those moments and calm yourself down and try and think of the best thing to do. So here, I'm just gonna let the Priestess save. There's no point in me hitting her, it's primed, I know that. It's right next to me. I'm actually not gonna hit them again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the Cypher, and notice I don't get anything from hitting them. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just going to wait for my warp to be back up, because why would I not do that? Seer comes and they try and bait the heal to get me to hit them, but I don't do chip damage or half, so I don't care if they heal. Now here I'm going to pick up the Doctor. And I went to go chair, then I remember, oh, they have a Priestess. They can long portal. So I go and pick her up, and I break the long portal just in time. Now, the Seer goes down, and the Priestess is kind of fucked. There's not really anywhere for her to go. She just goes down, and I go to chair her. But then, remember, she already self-healed. So I drop her down, and I pick up the Doctor. But I've already picked her up for a while, so I know she's going to struggle out. So I walk over to the corner, and now it's going to be easy to down her, because, again, there's nowhere for her to go. This is a very, very bad spot to be in. And that's pretty much game. I chair the Doctor, and Priestess can't get up. Seer eventually comes for the save, but it's not worth showing you guys. One last thing I do want to point out is the Doctor's persona that I didn't notice until I watched this game for like the 4th time. She took no major traits, which low-key pop-off queen. I want to live that boldly. But yeah, good game. Hey guys, so the higher you go in Hunter rank, the less frequently you will get someone that will cancel hit recovery. So when it does happen, it is quite the treat. Oh, I oh so enjoy it. This game, it happened twice by the same person. Spoiler alert, it is the meteorologist, the only one here that can do that. But it is very silly, and I hope you guys enjoy. So there's the first one. We're off to a good start. I get a very fast down. So that's lovely. And notice, one of the ciphers has not even been started yet, which is really good for us. Honestly, kind of feel bad. I feel like I've been picking on Meteorologist a lot lately. I swear to God, it's just a coincidence. So what they're about to do here is just a tinnitus trick. It's really good to do in situations like this if you don't want to save, which sometimes it's not the best idea to save. Personally, I'm Nightwatch. I think they still could have, but I understand the decision. He does get the save. It is after half though. She has a lot of bottle up, so she has some very good rebound potential. Seer gets a beautiful bird off. That was such a good bird, but she canceled the hit recovery once again. You hate to see it, except for me because I'm the hunter. Doesn't end up throwing her bottle that time. It was kind of just a rough game for her all around, but that's okay. Games like that happen. I know I have reset hit recovery so many times, and my friends have all flamed me for it every single time. It happens. That's Meteorologist is so me. So here, you saw me deciding which cipher to go to, right? And I thought about going to the one in the corner, but I decided on this one. Now the reason I did that, well actually, really good flywheel into pallet stun on Seer, super cracked once again, but the reason I went to this cipher, because I wanted to isolate the ciphers into this location. So one cipher is being worked in Shack, and these two next to me are really close together and they're very easy to guard. The last cipher, the one that is probably gonna end up being last, is on the other side of the map, which is going to be really hard to get to if they need to. Seer goes down. I put him in a chair. This is a pretty decent chair. Not my favorite. Not my least favorite. Pretty... I wouldn't say middle ground, actually. It's a pretty good chair. Norton comes for the save. His flywheel was not as good as the Seer's. I got that hit off. Now here, instead of going for the Seer, I'm actually going for the Norton. Because one, they won't expect it, and you see him panic a little bit, and that let me get the instant down. It's really important, because now Seer has to go to the other side of the map to get to the cipher, like we planned, and we can hard cut off the Magician, because we know exactly where he's coming from. That was a good wand. I have no idea where he went, I was bewildered. We wait for the flywheel, get that hit, and now it's really hard to do anything here. So Seer came back. I think he might have had better success if he went for the cipher so he could decode and get a pop-off, but that's not what happened. Yeah, good game. Hey guys, so today I just wanted to talk about rescues, but in particular, getting the extra hit on the person doing the rescuing, and how much that can help you. Yeah, so this game will just display that and just get my thought process on what I was thinking. Yeah, so obviously I'm going for the first officer. I hate chasing this guy, but that's okay. You take what you can get. Here I thought he was going to trip me up and do a little circle. Did not happen. You can see here I'm just completely lost. Did not know where he was. And I used my speed boost to catch up to him and just get that easy hit. So So here, I think about warping onto him, but I can't really see him, so I don't know which direction he went exactly. And I feel like he kind of fumbled a little bit by going in here, and I don't know why he did that. But I'm just checking ciphers to see where they're coming from. Don't really have a great indication from that, but that's okay. There, I see the novelist coming for the save. He gets his book off, but that's okay because I have a slow. I just got that hit. And he just barely gets that save off. And you're going to see here, I go for the novelist instead of the first officer because I have warp and warp is broken. See that easy predict on the first officer. And now, they only have 2 ciphers done, and now the novelist is down. He's not decoding, and someone probably has to help him when they get here. I'm just picking up the novelist, making sure he can't self-heal, and using him as a weapon if I can. But you see, every time I try and do that, she just walks away, which is pretty expected. I'm not going to pick him up again because I feel like he might struggle out this time, and I don't want that to happen. So there you see I got the hit on the Perfumer, which is really good. Specifically because it's Perfumer. Now she can't use her perfumes. If that was anyone else but the Perfumer, that might have been questionable. But because it was her, it was really good. And here I just wait out the pocket watch and I get that down. I notice the novelist has already been picked up, and so I'm going to try and look for him in just a second. I have no tinnitus, which means they probably went down a bit further. That was a useless suck, but you know, whatever. My tinnitus is back. And I hear them healing. And now I can stop the healing. Alright there, I just downed the novelist, but you're gonna see I'm not gonna go for him. I'm actually gonna go for the Perfumer. Because it's gonna be a really easy down. There's nowhere for her to go, and I can just suck her. She can't use her perfumes, we already made sure of that. Now they're in a really bad position. Novelist uses his self-heal, which is going to be important later. I don't go after him though because I'm scared of the child saving until he gets the audacity to decode in front of me. He gets a really good flywheel off, and then I just go back again because, again, I'm worried about the save. I get the hit on the child, which is really good. And then here is where I start to fumble a little bit. I actually should have hit and shared the child instead of going for the Perfumer again. Because right now, it doesn't really matter who I go for, as long as I get someone on share because no one can save. Now the child is helping assist, which is really bad. But I get the down in the end, so it's okay. Again, still a little bit of a fumble. I should have switched onto the little girl instead. Now here, I fumble again. I'm just waiting here, assuming Novelist is going to come out the same way, but he's not. He actually went around, and I fuck up my suck, and they get the pop, and they got a good save. So now it's looking very tieable for them. You're going to see here, I'm actually going for the Novelist, even though he's harder to get, instead of the Perfumer, because he's already used his self-heal. So whenever I down him, I can just leave him on the floor. I knew she was here because I had an announcement and I saw her earlier. And I'm just going to chair her and go back to the Novelist. So now I'm just playing a game of keep away, and this is just going to go on for a while. I'm just going to skip this and go to the part where something actually happens. I see that the Novelist is next to the dungeon, so I'm actually going to chair him so that I can't just wait out the child's chair. Perfumer leaves, and they get instant dungeon. So I want that to stop from happening, so I chaired him. And then I came back just to check on the little girl because I saw Perfumer. you notice instead of chasing the little girl, I'm actually gonna go for the perfumer again. That's just because I want to stop the save from the novelist. I got a little bewildered because the tension right now, but that's okay. I just make sure that the little girl is not going for the novelist, and then I continue my pursuit on perfumer. Notice, I'm not being too hasty, I'm staying calm, and I'm realizing I have control. She cannot get past me, so I was just waiting for cooldowns till she panicked and left. Yeah, good game. Hey guys, so knowing survivor locations is probably one of the most important things you can know as a hunter, because it helps you cut them off and get faster downs and get the jump on survivors in general. I see the site going to the left, so I'm also just going to go to the left and try and cut her off, but I have a slow reaction speed, so I did not get that speed off in time. But that's okay, because I still have a slow and I just get the hit off on her. So Psych has 3 hits, which basically lets her get a guaranteed transition to a good kiting area, which is really good for her. So that pallet might be really tempting to jump over instead of breaking, but if I did that, what would happen is she would just vault the window and re-vault the pallet and just keep looping me for a bit. I'd still eventually get the hit, but this is much faster. Psych, it's really important to wait out her extra hit, because when she's rescued off chair, she's going to be a 2-hit again. So it's better to just wait it out, unless you're like a chip hunter or something. In that case, it's still not good, it's a lot better. Gardener goes for the save, but I get that quick down on Psych. So right there, you see the Gardener, right? And you're going to remember that because it's Gardener. She's going to want to break that chair. So I see where the Psych went down, and I go follow the Gardener to try and down her, or I chair the Psych, because it's Gardener, she won't let you chair unless you down her first. Terror Shock I got was really, really lucky. I mean skilled, I'm so great. But it also lets us chair Psych without having to deal with her self-heal, which is really nice. Next up, the Priestess is also going to come for the save. I do believe she gets it off with ease. I do, however, get a second hit on her, which is really, really good. Now she only gets the help for 20 seconds. Meteorologist came in right there and just hit me with her wind a little bit. I did not notice her. It kind of caught me by surprise. But that's okay. Psych did not last very long. And lucky for us, the Priestess just happens to be right there. Now, if you're keeping track, even in-game, you would know that the last cipher hasn't been started yet. You would know that because Priestess finished the cipher and immediately had to come save. Meteorologist did 2 ciphers, and Gardener just finished the one that she started at the beginning of the game. So now we know the last cipher has not been started. Here, I'm just going for the Meteorologist, just because she's easier to down, and at this point, no one can save, so it doesn't matter who I down. I just want to have someone in the chair. Now at this point, even though both Gardener and Priestess don't really have a good save, Gardener is probably going to be the one that ends up going for the save anyway, because they can't just let her die on chair, and Gardener can at least get a shield. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check for any moving ciphers, and I know that's where the Gardener is going to be coming from, because I know she was the one doing the cipher. And even though it's not moving right now, when it starts moving again, I know that's still probably going to be the cipher that the Gardener came from. Because yes, Priestess can start a new cipher, but it's unlikely that she would start a brand new cipher, and more likely just go to the cipher that is already started by the Gardener. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, you see we caught her out, and we were able to down her before she got to the chair. Yeah, again. Hey guys, we're back at it again with another game that I didn't start off super well at, but I was able to clutch out a win in the end. I started chasing the Journalist because Alva soft counters her, he can stun her Orpheus, and hit people with those charges. I missed that shock, I should have charged the window instead. But that's okay, because I get it back in time to stun her before she vaults the window. So since I had a bad early game, at the start of this video, I'm mostly going to be talking about mistakes I made instead of good things that I did, which is also very good to learn. Like that right there, I definitely could have made that hit if I committed, but I did not, which ended up working out, but that doesn't mean it was a good play regardless. Now here, I should have warped onto her. I was just too scared to, because I don't play Alva that often. Now here I actually do something good. I force her back over to that pallet. Now here, I'm being really stupid. I forgot that Alva has a soft counter. I should have hit both of them with a blue charge, and then just hit either of them. There I get a really good stun onto the second story. Now she's forced back into this area. Since she came back to an area that she's already used all the pallets in, she's gonna go down pretty quickly. So at this point, it's not too bad, it's not the worst, it is also not the best. Ciphers are looking pretty grim for an Alva game. And now Merc is gonna come for the rescue. I'm just checking to make sure no one double saves. Get that really good shock off, but they have a toy merchant, but I'm Alva, so that's okay. I get that extra hit on the toy merchant because if you can get a free hit, it's almost always worth it to, especially on Alva, because Alva really needs an extra damage on other people. She gets a really good pallet stun on me, which, honestly, I don't think that should have hit, but you know what, I'll let her have it. And once again, we are getting extra damage on people. And here I'm gonna miss another stun, because of that weird teleport that she did. Now there I could have gotten some extra damage, and honestly it might have been worth it, but I just chose to down the journalist instead. They're healing instead of popping, and I get to do this. Which, hey, if you play Alva, it's a really good tech to know. So now everyone's down and I just chair the mercenary. Acrobat uses his self-heal, so I go to check on Journalist to make sure he's not going for her. He is not, so I can go back to the toy merchant. I see him, and now I'm just going to drop the toy merchant, because I don't want him to save. I hit her with that red charge in case she gets up. You're going to notice that I don't walk through that pallet. That's super important because she would have just got up and pallet stunned me if I had done that. Then Acrobat goes for the body block. I don't really know why, because he's used his self-heal, Merc has not. And I think he has more kiting material than Merc too. But yeah, no, you see that we turned that almost guaranteed loss into a 4K. Good game. Hey guys, so as a hunter it helps so much to just know what survivors are thinking. Because if you can do that, then you know what you should do in response. So here, I'm just looking at his scratch marks and know he's over to the left. I didn't see any scratch marks, so I know he probably went back, so I just also went back to cut him off. Now here, I'm just breaking that so he can't use it anymore. And I didn't see which way he went, so I'm just going this way to make sure that he didn't try and transition into the middle. Now, I'm just trying to, again, cut him off. I'm following him over to the window, and he just gets that ball off. I don't really want to touch that slow, so again, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to keep him from transitioning into middle. And And this warp might seem weird, but again, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to keep him from leaving. I don't... It's okay that I didn't go through it, I just don't want him to leave. And that's just the classic pallet bait mind game. This happens all the time, and he got a pretty good kite off, still not quite good enough. Now here, I'm looking at ciphers, and I know that the journalist is right next to me, and she's most likely the one to save. So, I try and really hard cut her off. I get a quick hit, predicting that she will not use an Orphe to block me. She does end up getting that rescue Orphe off, which is really good for her. Now here, I got a little lost. I was like, huh, where'd he go? Because I lack object permanence and I lost track of him. And I wait out that flywheel. Just waiting a little bit longer to hit them baits out the flywheel like 90% of the time. It's really good. I know that either the psychologist or the patient have to save, and they're both going to be coming from generally the same direction. I see the patient, and now I'm just trying to cut him off completely. It is Emil, and he does get a pretty good hook off. Not good enough, though. Spoiler alert, he is not going to end up making that save, which is good for us. Now I'm just checking ciphers again. I see where both of them are decoding. I know which one is the journalist because I just saw her pretty recently. Now I know what cipher the journalist was at, so I feel comfortable just giving a small chase to the psych. She got too far for my comfort, so I went back to the chair. And sure enough, you can see this journalist in the distance. Wait out that Orphe and just get a good hit on her, and now the psychologist is going to be forced to save for the next rescue. Definitely helps that I counter patient though. And now, notice even though psychologist has popped her cipher, they're really far from the one that journalist already started, so I feel like I have a pretty decent amount of time. Either she goes back to that cipher, or she just starts a new one. Either way, it's good for me. I don't know what it is. I never feel like a psychologist ever gonna have flywheel, but they do a lot of the time. Now notice, this is also good. Journalist went for the back door, which means she hasn't started a cipher or went back to her old one. That was an insane Orphe by the journalist. Really good body block. Now here, I don't know why, like at the time I should have been confident that it wasn't going to be primed. But I think in my head I wasn't sure, and that's why I was just trying to down him really fast. The journalist is still here, which means the psych had to be the one to go over to the other cipher that the journalist had started. So obviously it just wasn't going to be primed. I just wasn't thinking about that at the moment. I forgot. But it's okay, because I can still just warp over to the working cipher, and they surrender. Yeah, good game. Hey guys, failing a rescue as a survivor can be really frustrating, but as a hunter, when you stop someone from getting a rescue, it is very silly and very funny. So here are just a couple of times, well, one game that had a couple of times where that happened. I keep checking the Luca just to see if he gets, I don't know, close to me and I would switch on to him or anything. The spawns in this game were extremely silly. I don't know what was going on there. Here I see him walking over to my right, so I just break the pallet so he's kind of forced to go by me. Here I try and get that slow on him, but he makes the vault. And I actually messed up my speed boost. I wanted a speed boost, it just didn't work for some reason, so I don't know what that was. It's okay. Here I'm just baiting out the flywheel so I'm not hitting him. When I felt like he didn't have it, I just smacked him. A trait that I recently started taking was Wanted Order, and I'm really liking it, because there's not much downside to it if it doesn't hit the right person, but if it hits the rescue, oh my god, that could be game winning. And I already take announcement, so I figured why not. So I really cut off the Gravekeeper, and I get an early hit on him. And I also get an early hit on the Luca, who was also trying to go for the save. So now neither of them can save. But, as I'm sure you've noticed, the lucky guy backdoored and got the Composer. So, the Composer's right there. Obviously I didn't know that at the time, but I am now hard stuck looking for him. And spoiler, I'm not going to find him. I'm actually going to go just warp mid, because I noticed that the Gravekeeper is going to get healed. And so I figured, fuck it, I'll just chase the other decoder, because they have two. I get caught on that crate a little bit, but that's okay. And I just stand menacingly and wait for him to leave on his own. Again, trying to wait out the flywheel just a little bit to see if he gets it. At this point in the game, you might be thinking, it's really not looking good. That's okay, because I am the GOAT. Here, I'm gonna walk outside, but then right here, I can hear the Gravekeeper's footsteps, just a little bit. Sure enough, there he is. Now he digs a hole in the ground, but I don't have to hit him. Why would I hit him? He has to be the one to come out and rescue. So I just wait for him to do that. And, yeah, so Gravekeeper's in his shell. What he wants to do is knock you back, so I was standing a little bit away from him, so he couldn't knock me back. So just the second he pops out of a shovel, I can hit it. Right there you can see the lucky guy going for the save. I don't think I saw that at the time, but I knew what cipher he was working on, so I knew what direction he's going to come from anyway. Get that early hit. And I don't know what wizardry that was, but fuck, I'm glad that pulled him in anyway. Now you can see I went from a bad position to a extremely good one. So good, in fact, that they just surrendered here. But yeah, good game. Weird spawn works. Hey guys, really do at this point to salvage this game. Aeroplace is half, and he's already been chaired once. The mech has almost no bot. They still have to do 3 ciphers. Granted, there's a lot of progress on those 3 ciphers, but no, there's no shot they can do anything about this. Aeroplace is going to use his jetpack. I'm patient, and I wait for him to run himself into a wall. And here, the game is pretty much just over. Mech doesn't ever come to save, and I don't bother chasing her because I'd rather just go next, so I surrender. But yeah, good game. I feel like rotating what survivor goes on chair can be a really hard thing for some hunters, so I just want to talk about this game where I rotated every survivor going on a chair at some point, and what I was thinking and why I did it, and hopefully that'll help you. So here I decided to chase the lucky guy instead of the Composer, because I feel like the chase is mostly the same, and lucky guy might have a little bit better decoding if he gets a bot, which if you leave him alone he will. The chase is generally the same, but sometimes it can even be worse, like in this case, where, I mean, he just got a shoulder pad that he didn't use, right? I mean, he tried to use it, but he just failed with it. Then he goes instantly down. There's only like 1 cipher above half. And here the Magician's gonna go for the save. He gets a really good wand off, and I get a hit, but it's not gonna be enough for me to stop him from saving. I pre-suck the lucky guy, and just get a pretty good hit. You're gonna see me use a win token just to get that extra hit on him for Final Presence. I feel like that's always going to be worth trade-off. Then you see me there avoid for a second just my sucking him in. It's because I actually wanted to go to this chair, so I didn't want to take him further from it. And now you're going to see me right here hard pressure the cheerleader into saving. Because I don't really care about, like, cutting her off or anything. I just want to make her early save. Because early saving can be really, really bad for survivors. Just like that. Now you're going to see me still just go for the cheerleader. Because if I can down her too, then it's huge. And it's going to be really hard for them to do anything after that. Now this is his last chair, and I can just immediately chair the cheerleader, which is really strong. Now I see that cipher shaking behind me, so I'm actually going to go pressure that now. I don't know who that is, but I have a feeling it might be Magician. Now here I see him wand. I'm not looking for him. I'm looking for the scratch marks. I didn't see any cross over the window, so I just waited for him. Now you notice the cheerleader got rescued, and I didn't really notice when she got rescued, so I said, whatever, that's fine, I can just cheer the magician. Still have to come save, and it still disrupts the coding quite a bit. You'll see the confetti left behind by the cheerleader, so I know she's the one that went over to the cipher, but that's okay. I want to go for the composer because there's still 3 ciphers left, and after this, no one can save again. Now you're gonna see I pulled in the composer, but I didn't pull in the magician. And I'm just gonna chair the composer because again, no one can save, and there's 2 ciphers left. There's no way they can do anything with this. And now I see that they're both over here. The magician vaulted, so I'm actually going to go and try and stop him from saving. I got a really good hit on him. I couldn't see him, but that's okay. I just kind of guessed that he was going for the rescue, and if he wasn't, that's okay too. Cheerleader went back for the composer rescue. Now you see I'm just playing hot potato with them, right? I see both of them run over there. I'm just stopping them from saving. Because I'm just putting so much pressure on them that there's nothing they can do but save, and they have no time to decode. You see, now when the cheerleader is actually trying to decode, the game is just over. Yeah, good game. When to leave people on the ground can be a complicated topic, especially just when to do it. And so here I just want to show you guys a game where I do just that. I decided to leave someone on the ground and ended up working out and winning the game. Priestess gets off a phenomenal portal. It's really, really good. Duped me, tricked me, bamboozled me, but I'm gonna bamboozle her right back. Just getting that hit right there. Look at me go. And my biggest fear right now is her going into main building, because she can do some real damage with a portal into main building. So I just want to make sure that doesn't happen. And I do so right here. She only starts the game with 2, so I know she doesn't have any left unless the last one is charged, which I'm just going to assume it's not. Which could have been bad, because it's almost ready. There you see I didn't hit her quite. Like, I waited a little bit before I hit her, and again, I'm just waiting for a flywheel. I was trying to see if they have it, because a lot of the time they'll just use it even if you don't swing at them. Because you kind of have to, right? You do kind of have to a degree. I got lucky, basement is here. Now I'm just looking for whoever's going to save. I see someone's decoding here. I mean, obviously I know it's mechbot, mech spawned here. I got a little unlucky. She moved her bot before I got over to her. The journalist is coming for the save. I get a very clean early hit on her. She sends in the rescue Orphe, which it looks like was the correct move because she would have gotten downed if that happened. And here I'm just trying to slow down Priestess so she can't go too far. I should have used my wind a little bit later than that so she couldn't get as much distance. And here, so you see what I'm doing, is I was actually waiting for the journalist to leave the basement so that way I could go back to her and just down her. And now there's 2 people on the ground and I can just go over to the Priestess that didn't get too far because again we slowed her. Fortunately, the batter is trying to harass, but I end up getting the pickup in time, which is good for me. Now you see the ciphers aren't doing too great, not that bad, but journalist is on the ground, so actually in a pretty good position. This batter was not terrible. He had some pretty good moments. Like this rescue right here was really good. He is doing his job quite well. That ball might have seemed weird, but he definitely needed to do that. If he didn't do that, I would have just downed him right away. Journalist got full healed, and if I'm not stupid, which I am stupid, I would have recognized that the bot is probably the one that healed her. So the bot is probably still around, and I just, for some reason, forgot. Trying to get the extra hit on the journalist so she can't save again, which I do end up getting. Don't get me wrong, I do get that. I didn't get that. I've watched this like 3 times now, and I didn't realize I didn't get that hit. Anyway, The bot goes down, and Batter, yeah, again, he had a good save. That was very interesting of him to do, though. I know once I go in this, I'm going to get pallet stunned. I just figure the pallet stun is worth it, because if I don't go through, that she gets more distance than if I just take the pallet stun. I see ciphers are still pretty good. Once Mech loses her bot, her decoding gets very not good. And here you see me going back for the Batter, but then I realize he's self-healed. They still have 2 ciphers left, which means I can still just check the ciphers and see who's decoding and go to them, stop decoding. And now it's kind of like treating it like someone that's on chair. Someone has to come save him, or I can just pressure ciphers, right? I hear the journalist, so I get a very clean hit on her. But she just ends up going down without much of a fight. I do have tinnitus though, so I know she is around, hanging out. And again, she has to. We forced this, because now she has to come save, because Batter can't get up. She did end up getting the Batter up though, and there's a whole lot of nothing, so I'm probably just going to skip this part. So, you see there that Batter was actually the one that stayed, which is very questionable to me. The mech definitely should have been the one to save, because she's full health, and her decoding is much worse than Batter's right now. So the decision to let Batter stay instead of the mech was very interesting to me. There you go, he goes down, and now I actually am going to chair him. You could definitely leave him down, it would be fine. I just don't care enough. I feel like that would extend the game longer than it has to be, and I'd just rather the game be over. This whole game, we've been pressuring this one cipher at Factory, so they did 73% progress for nothing, because we've been pressuring the cipher the whole game. That's pretty much game. Yeah, okay game. Losing people can be very disheartening, and it can make you just want to give up. I know I have felt that. I felt that during this game, in fact. But, oftentimes you just have to calm yourself down and remember that, you know, maybe you can still scrape out a tie, and in some lucky cases you can even scrape out a win, just like in this game. So here, I was trying to look for the priestess. I thought she was trying to sneak around the sides and I couldn't find her. Turns out she was just up on the 2nd floor, and I'm stupid because I just didn't bother checking. But that's fine, because this acrobat was right here, waiting for me. Seemed like a very enthusiastic ball. Seemed quite unnecessary. Just got an easy hit off that. I don't know what that was. Knight is coming for some early support. You notice this game, they did a lot of, I don't know if I'd say unnecessary. Definitely a lot of support though. And I've ulted that window so he couldn't loot me in that area, just so I could make him transition a little bit sooner, because Nightwatch excels at getting people when they transition. See that world portal, but I am not too worried about it because I take warp with me. That world portal really doesn't mean much to me. I will take it out if it's convenient, otherwise it can stay. Goated, and I hit him before he's able to get his helmet off. That is his last ball. I think he has like one more from kiting. So I think he has one more fireball. I don't think he has it quite yet, but I think he will have it by the end of the game. I'm taking him to this chair even though it's a little bit further than the other chairs, because I don't want him to be near the start of Coaster. I want him to be in an area that he can't really go anywhere. Now Meteorologist is here as well. She gets the win on me. Again, everyone's harassing. I told you that they're harassing a lot this game. I could have warped on him. In fact, I actually probably should have warped on him. It probably would have been a lot better than warping to the coaster, because that happened, and now I'm just lost and in shambles. Spoiler alert, just like the video said, I did not find him. I searched for about 1 minute and 15 seconds to 1 minute and 20 seconds for him, but I never found him. I'm just gonna skip that because there's I mean, there's nothing interesting. Here is where I give up my search, and I'm just gonna go over to the meteorologist who's decoding. Do I know that's the meteorologist? I don't know for sure, but I did last see her over here, so I have a pretty good idea that that's probably her. I get wanted order on Priestess, so I'm just gonna turn on positions for a second so you guys can see what I see. I try and take her out of that portal, but it doesn't work, and now I'm just following her through the building. Again, I have wanted order, so I can see exactly where she is. See her portaling, and I just get that little bit of an early hit, but in tandem with warp, it stops her from saving altogether. I waited for a second in case she flywheeled, but I guess she already did. I don't remember when she did that. I have Tinnitus, but Knight has already used all 3 of his helmets, so I'm not too worried about it. There he vaults the top window, and I'm just slowing him down so he doesn't make the rescue on the meteorologist. That said, I think he might have. I think he would have made that, and I don't know what he's doing right here. Going for a world record. That is his second failed save in like 10 seconds. I should have hit him there. I should have hit him while he was throwing the pallet. That would have been really good. I definitely could have. I would have made that too. I fail once again right there. You'll notice they're decoding the last cipher, and I could not tell at the time how close this was, but oh my god. I mean, I knew it was close, because I knew that the cipher near me was almost ready, but oh my god, that was closer than I knew. And here I have announcements so I can see where both of them are. I can see that Acrobat is by that gate, and it's Acrobat, so he's not going to get the gate. So I just bum rush over to him, and obviously he has to leave. Now there it is, his last ball. I know he has absolutely no resources except from a flywheel left, so I can just warp onto him, and I can take my time. I am in absolutely no rush to get him down, because the only way they can get a tie is if he gets dungeon. So I'm just going to take my time with it. And, yeah. He's there. I kind of try and rush over to the knight. I would normally surrender in a situation like this. I don't know. I was probably just upsetty spaghetti because it was a frustrating game. Yeah, good game. I am Dogwater, I am Dookie, I am literally garbage at this game, but that's okay, because I am the best, I am the GOAT, I am the best hunter to ever exist. You know that hunter at the top of the leaderboards, like 120 stars and 95% win rate? Yeah, that's me. I'm also a fucking spider. I can't fucking find people for shit, but my endgame is god tier. You're about to see me missing the Luca twice. You can see his foot right there, and then I turn around, and I literally see him, but then I just don't notice, and I keep walking. My god. But that's okay, because we don't need to first chase the decoder. In fact, we don't need to chase the decoder at all. We can just chase whoever we find next, when 3 ciphers are already at 50%. This is literally the ideal situation to be in as a hunter. This is what every hunter yearns for. Now watch this, massive predict. Boom, roasted. See, look at that. Already off to a great start. I thought about warping on him, decided that's probably not the best idea. He took Flywheel, which I'm seeing a lot lately for several rescues. Mainly Knight and Journalist. I see them often enough not taking Tide. Knight, I feel like, can get away with it a lot better than Journalist can. That's just because he has his own built-in Tide. Well, it's done. Was fucked up. I don't think that should have hit. Knight, however, was getting some pretty good helmets off, low-key. The first one he missed, but the other 2 after that were really, really good. So you'd think I get the hit there. I do not. They have a seer. So I'm getting mollywopped right now. I'm getting completely served on a platter. Yeah, no, but it's okay. I just told myself, you know what, this is fine. I can still probably scrape out a tie if I play well enough. Which, you know, I'm downing the Knight. At this point, downing and sharing people doesn't really matter that much. I'm just trying to pressure stuff. So now the way I win is just getting a massive cheese. It kind of hurts that I didn't get a win token there, but that's okay. I need to down her really quickly so I can try and use her for evil. And just give him some smacks, some free hits. But he's actually doing pretty good. And he gets the save off regardless. I think about going for the knight, but going for the knight at this point doesn't really matter. I just want to put on some massive pressure. She has knee jerk, so she made it over to this kiting area, which is really good for her. And now again, I'm just leaving her because what does chairing her do, right? I just want to put pressure on the Cypher. Now, there's an argument made that I could chair her because she doesn't really have much to kite with, and you would want to be kiting her endgame, which I can totally see. It's not a bad option. Here, this is just what I decided to do. But they do have a Luca, so I just connected to the Cypher anyway, which kind of sad for me. Now, I wanted order on the barmaid, so I do see her through that wall. It is primed. I'm just gonna knock her down, but that's okay. There's really nowhere for her to run right here, and I can just give her a suck real quick. But, unfortunately, she does make it. But, fortunately, I make it. So, pars. Now, this is definitely still tieable. If you can down them within like 10 to 15 seconds of the pop, and you have a warp up, you can definitely make it to the gate on time. And for some reason, it looks like no one was actually decoding a gate. I really don't know why, but, you know, it works out for me. Normally they would just be waiting by the gate, waiting to decode it. I guess that was not the case. Now you see, Barmaid got rescued, so I was gonna go through the warp, but look at my tinnitus, look at my tinnitus. It's up for just a second, and so I don't go through the warp, because I know someone's here. And if I go back, they're just gonna go for the rescue, and I'm probably gonna be playing Hot Potato. And this is actually a better situation to be in, where I am just chasing this knight, because now someone has to go save, while I'm doing this. So I do, in fact, get the knight down. And I saw someone at the other door right to my left. And so no one went to go save, so now Sia's just gone. And no one can really save the knight because they just went for the tie. But that also means that I can pressure them at gate. And I just barely get that suck off. Barely. Now I break this when Barmaid is on an unfavorable situation. And I wait for my cooldown. And I get the suck. Luca shocks me out of it though, but that is okay. She did not have enough time to get anywhere, and we got that. Gonna be honest, I definitely think someone should have gone to rescue the Seer. That is what I thought was gonna happen. I actually thought it was gonna be a tie, but since no one did, I just got the win. But yeah, good game. I wanted the batter to smack me around while the wildling pins me to walls. Quite the devious plan if I do say so myself. They even have a psychologist in case I injured any of them, so that way they could always get away with that heal if they needed to in just some random corner. And I fell right for their bait, hook, line, and sinker. I go for the Perfumer, which is the kiter that they want me to go for. And then they just have the two harassers right next to me. And then again, the psychologist if either of them ever needs to heal. Unfortunately for them, their plan is not going to go how they want. I won this game because I am the best. So here I'm vaulting that window, and it seems weird, but it's because I have confined space, and I don't want her to keep looping me here. And it just cut her off, and threw her off, which helps me end up getting a very quick down right here. She should have threw that pallet, but she did not, so yeah. She just ends up going down right there. Now I see the wildling is decoding right next to me, so I can go harass him and make him early save. Let's check another ciphers real quickly. And here, Wildling and I share a very silly moment together. We're spin buddies. But that's where the silliness stops. Back to serious mode. I'm a hunter. I miss both of my foggies, and I just get a standard hit on him. That's okay. That's why I think Wildling is much better of a harasser than a rescue. He got to the chair fine because of his boar, but then, you know, really what can he do? He can't really harass because his boar is already gone. I have tinnitus, so I probably should have checked my surroundings to see if Batter was there, but I just said fuck it. we ball. And that's mainly because I vaulted the window, so he cannot hit me through a window, and she can't vault that afterwards. I felt pretty safe that if he did rescue her, I could just down her again right away. We're having a little song and dance. He gets that hit off on me, and I just get him down, which is good for me. Now he can't harass anymore. So the wildling is being healed by the psychologist, and I was able to down her before that happened. That is really, really crucial. If, by chance, I wasn't able to do that, wildling would have harassed me, batter would have gotten up, and I probably just would have been able to do nothing for the rest of the game. The psych would have done all of the ciphers while they were both harassing. And now notice, batter used the self-heal. I really don't have a time limit on what I have to be doing right now. I go back and grab my speed boost a little bit. He used this charge, so I don't have to be too worried about that anymore. I can just go ahead and pick him up with ease. I could have tried to down the wildling instead, but he has boar, and trying to down a wildling is really annoying. So instead I'm just picking up the batter and forcing a save. I bait his charge, and then I just go over onto him and try and down him so he can't save. And little did I know that the psychologist is coming to save, as you can see from that ping. There she is. I did not notice at the time. I don't think I still noticed. Finally did. And now here, you could see I could go for the batter. But rather than that, I think I'm actually just going to go for the psychologist instead. Because she is just a raw kiter. She doesn't have much to kite with. So I don't mind just going on her. Especially because she's already used the heal, so she's just a 2. The reason I'm doing that is because now both the wildling and the batter are half. They cannot save. And it's not like they're a merc or a puppeteer or someone who can save at half if they have to. Right? Wildling has a boar to get to the chair, but I just can wait it out. I don't have to hit him off the board or anything like that. And they know that. So now what I'm doing is I'm also just pressuring the Cypher, because Wildling is going to be the one to go try and save. But because he's going to go save, now I just have free reign to go for the batter. And now look at this position they're in. This is pretty much just a losing position. Psychologist still hasn't been saved. She will be in a sec, but that's, you know. And now they have to come save the batter. And it's just such a bad position to be in as a survivor. Now here I see the Wildling and the Psych. I thought about going on the Psych because she's an easier chase, but then I remember I don't care about chasing them. I just want to stop the batter from getting saved. There's no way it's going to be primed or anything like that. I just didn't have enough time to do that. And yeah, I'm just not going to hit him because there's no point, right? He's on board. But now he's off, and I miss a hit for dominance, and then I got the second one. That is game. Good game. Just like the toxic people in my life, I cut these survivors off so hard that they didn't know what happened to them. This is not my typical spawn. I normally spawn between the mech and the meteorologist, but I like chasing the lucky guy because he can be very annoying if you leave him alone. And if you give him a chase, his chase is not typically very good. Unfortunately for me, he got a football, which is typically one of the better items for him to get. And you're going to see that he actually gets a pretty decent kite off, but the rest of his team is just going to fuck up every single rescue possible, and it's just going to get an easy win for me. So you see he makes it to that window with football. I kind of miss the hit on him. I warp in the wrong fucking direction because I'm a dumbass, but that's okay. I have a speed boost. But then it's not okay because he has football again. But it's okay because I make it anyway. Wow, what a roller coaster we just went through. But yeah, you see, ciphers are pretty good considering everything. He had a pretty decent kite. Now, a caveat to cutting people off is that it's a lot easier if you down them before ciphers are popped, because then you can look at ciphers and you can see who is coming and who is still decoding. But meteorologist was extremely close, so I knew she was going to be the one coming. She fucked up her cloud, and yeah, just abysmal save. But that's okay. Every team's got one of those. They still have good ciphers. They can still recover. Spoiler, they do not recover. I'm pretty sure I know where the female dancer is coming from, because I know where she spawned and where she would rotate once she got her cipher done. She fucked up her little spin, and I cut her off too far from the chair, and she didn't make it. Unforge for them. Poggers for us, though. Am I right, chat? I'm so sorry. So after this, the mech doesn't come to save because, I mean, why would she? So it's kind of just the end of the game, and I just surrender because I don't really care to find her. A bit of a shorter video today, but that's because I'm the fucking goat. But yeah, good game. These spawns are so bad it made Bob Ross come alive